We did it, guys. We have finally witnessed the summoning of the ultimate edgelord for GranBlue Fantasy Versus. All that was needed to create this horny edgelord was a collection of energies from other edgelords. Hazama energy, Terumi energy, Jetta energy, Kalmai energy, and yes, everybody's favorite JoJo reference. These energies combined together to create a character that is so powerful he actually managed to crash PSN upon release. Or maybe Sony was just on their bullshit tonight. But regardless, the long-awaited Belial is finally here, and thanks to its inclusion, GranBlue Fantasy Versus has a light at the end of the tunnel for the longevity of this game. And now, yes, you have read the title of this video, and I'm sure there are some of, if not many, who are probably confused. What did GranBlue need to be saved from? Or is this just clickbait? Well, you're about to find out. But before we start, cue the intro! Happy motherfucking Belial release day, everyone. I never thought I would live to see the day that this character would release. No, seriously, this year fucking sucked. But before I dive into the main topic of this video, I just want to bluntly say that Belial is fucking god-like. You heard it from me. I'm giving my stamp of approval for this character. Belial is fucking sick, and most likely will become either my new main or secondary right behind Zoe. But I have a feeling that Belial is going to probably become my definitive main at some point. But anyways, getting back to the topic at hand, what exactly do I mean by Belial saving GranBlue Fantasy Versus? Well, I actually wanted to discuss how I completely feel about GranBlue Fantasy Versus for some time now, but I haven't had the chance to do so due to personal life getting in the way. But now that I am officially back, I can give my uncanny thoughts about how I feel about GranBlue Fantasy Versus. In the past, before this game release, I didn't think too highly of this game initially, because I had no prior knowledge of the GranBlue series. The game also seemed kind of slow for my taste, and I just didn't know what character to vibe with in GranBlue at that time period. However, the anime fighting game enthusiast in me eventually caved in to buy GranBlue Fantasy Versus, and it was actually a wonderful surprise. Despite having no idea who these characters are, I found myself enjoying GranBlue Fantasy Versus a lot, and I find it to be a pretty solid anime fighting game. It was not the usual air dashing nonsense you would see in much faster paced anime arc system work fighters like BlazBlue Central Fission, BB Tag, Guilty Gear, etc. The game instead gives more emphasis in the traditional fundamentals of a fighting game, kind of akin to Street Fighter in some aspects. And speaking of Street Fighter, this game actually brought some well-known Capcom players to try this game out too, even though they pretty much got demolished. But the main point is, GranBlue Fantasy Versus proved to be an all-around solid fighting game, so what exactly is the problem? Well, many things. Outside of the obvious like delay-based netcode, GranBlue Fantasy Versus had another glaring problem during its first few months. And the problem was that this game was kinda dry. Yeah, the game is kind of notorious for not being too swaggy or saucy due to many of the short, simple combo structures and somewhat linear gameplay design for the characters, mainly the base roster. The game prides itself on being a decision-making game, not so much of combos, which is why you have so many safe jump setups and an actual evasive action unique to this game. And while you can make the argument that this is GranBlue Fantasy Versus, and if you want long, complicated combos, you can just go to other fighting games. Which leads to my second point, the lack of individuality. In high-level play, you're going to most likely see 10 fairies, or 20 Grams, playing very identical to each other, because of the combo routes being very linear, and the character designs in themselves being very simple. It's very difficult for even high-level players to express themselves differently. And because of this, I don't know if it's just me, but it makes watching high-level play pretty damn boring at times. Again, I want to reiterate that I truly love GranBlue Fantasy Versus. Coming out of a toxic relationship with BB Tag, this game helped me appreciate fighting games again. But because I care for this game, I have to be transparent. I don't like 1 for 3, and I don't even play Melee anymore. But watching those games as a spectator sport is fucking amazing, due to the players themselves being able to redefine the meta year after year. And unfortunately, GranBlue Fantasy Versus just doesn't have that edge to me. Well, until probably now. Belial is a one-of-a-kind character in this game, and a type of character that I hope for Season 2 going forward, that we will see more unique characters coming into this roster. Yeah, Belial is a love letter to edgelords like myself, but you have to admit that there's something very special about this character that just oozes ridiculous fun. His combos feel fun and interesting. He has a command grab, he has frame traps, he has tricky mix-up options, he actually has a fucking one button parry that makes him walk like a Giga Chad. But I think the most interesting thing about Belial's kit is his projectile game. Most characters that have projectiles usually just shoot it forward, and some only have the option to change only the speed. But in Belial's case, you can actually control the trajectory of the projectiles. You can fling it forward, upwards, backwards. The projectile itself can lead to combos or okizeme situations. This one thing in Belial's kit gives him that many options, on top of which I have already stated that Belial has. And must I remind y'all, this is only day one. The sky is definitely the limit with Belial in this game. While I do know that this recent GranBlue patch has been mostly anything but exciting outside of Belial, due to our system works for some dumbass reason universally nerfing majority of the cast around the board, which is honestly the lamest way to try to balance a game. There are some bright spots here and there, with Lancelot actually getting more routes and pressure options, as well as Fairy. Stuff like this is exactly what this game needs to be. Just give all the characters more things to work with, so players will be able to express themselves further and take the characters into a whole nother level. But knowing our system works, I wouldn't be surprised if Belial gets a nerf hammer real soon. Well, we better save this shit while it lasts. But that's gonna do it for this video. I want to get back into labbing with Belial. Please give your boy a like, it really helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. And please let me know in the comments below if you want to see more GranBlue Fantasy Versus content. I'm signing off, and I hope you guys surround yourself with good vibes and positive energy. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.